am Double D, and welcome to the Double D Podcast once again. Special edition, Championship Edition. That's right, the NASCAR Cup Series Championship and all three of their series are this weekend. You're going to be racing at Phoenix starting Friday for the Truck Series on Halloween night. I'll be league racing that night, so you guys will probably have to have it on split by split. But then there'll be the Xfinity Series Saturday night, and then the Cup Series during the day, 2 o'clock Central, 3 o'clock Eastern, I believe, because you're out west. That's the time zone for it. But yeah, there'll be all that going on. That's what we're going to discuss this episode. I have the one and only Bennett Allen for the third time in WWE Podcast history here to talk about what to expect for the championship weekend and how everything from all the seasons this year have came down to this. So, welcome to the podcast once again, Bennett Allen.
Thank you.
Yes. So, before we begin, you want to share like any updates you've been going through with like iRacing or anything? Because I know you're an iRacer.
Yeah, I was originally running 3 leagues, or 1 league, 3 separate series, and I had some stuff go down in the league, which caused me to leave, unfortunately. One of the things with iRacing I don't like is just people's personalities and the way they carry themselves. It's a video game problem, but it's pretty apparent in iRacing, and they just got me to my tipping point, and so I just decided to leave. It sucks, because I've been a part of that league for 4 years, but things happen, and I'm just taking a break for now. I'll do 1 or 2 Phoenix races, but other than that, I'm pretty set on just chilling and playing console games for a little bit. But I think we're halfway, just maybe a little bit short of halfway through the new season of iRacing, and I'm really excited to see what the next season holds. I don't know any rumors or anything yet about the NASCAR side. I know they're still working on the NASCAR refresh project. They're working on the dynamic track system. They finally finished all the refreshes to the tracks. So all the tracks look really good and updated. I'm still waiting on Bowman Gray to be added. I think that'd be really fun for when the Clash happens next year. I know in iRacing it would be chaos. The Madhouse would definitely take up its name.
Yeah.
Because I remember racing Coliseum races, and it's terrible. But iRacing's still fun. It gets a little frustrating from time to time, just because humans will remain humans, and you can't control other people. But that's also part of the fun. And we'll see what it brings me. But just taking a break for a little bit. So I've been going through a lot at home, so sometimes it's good to just take a step back.
Yeah, I understand it. Either if it's you being burned out or just stuff going on. I remember a couple years ago, I used to run this F1 league, but stuff got chaotic and I had to leave. And now I'm in NASCAR. I pretty much retired from that F1 league. But yeah, if you want to watch about that, guys, look in my history videos. You'll see me do not only left turns but right turns as well. But yeah. So yeah, that's pretty cool. At least you got some time to yourself there. But yeah, so off-track news I'd like to go over. So it just announced it. The big news always happens right after I record my podcast. Daniel Suarez is heading to Spire. I don't think this is a surprise to the NASCAR community at all. I think pretty much everybody expected it once Justin Haley was kicked out. What are your thoughts about him going over there?
Me and my brother are actually talking about this on Sunday during the Cup race. He's going to a team that fits where he runs on the racetrack.
I agree.
It sounds mean, but I think he'll be happier there. I think he'll understand that where he'll be running is where the team usually runs. I'm interested to see the dynamic between him and Carson and Noah, or not Noah's on front row. Who else is there? I guess it's Tim and Carson.
Carson and McDowell.
Yeah, McDowell. I knew I was forgetting one. But yeah, I wasn't surprised. I think I knew that. I've known this for months. If you looked on his Indeed profile, it said Spire Motorsports from 2026 onwards. So I figured that the news was inevitable, but obviously when it comes to like the week before the championship race or 2 weeks before, in their case, it's pretty common for teams to drop, you know, bombshell news like that. So um, we'll see what happens. I think he's gonna almost thrive, but we'll see.
I say it's like probably like 60 to 40% good and bad for Spire. I say good because that's gonna give like Spire some chances on like the road courses. Because Suarez is a pretty decent road course racer. Of course, he won at Sonoma a few years back, and he's ran some good races there. And also, he brings another veteran presence, kind of like McDowell does, and sponsorship money to Spire. And I think it'll bring the team more attention too. Another thing about Spire too, they're developing. They're still developing, so they're getting faster and faster week by week. I mean, you saw Carson Hocevar almost win a couple of races, but just had stuff going on with him. But
well, Carson will be Carson.
Yeah, and the only thing I have like the bad thing, he's still underperforming from what he was the years past when he was first with Trackhouse. Just he's mainly like in like the top 30s pretty much, or he's just not really consistent either. I'm not sure if maybe he'll be able to turn around when he gets to Spire, but we'll just have to see.
I mean, his finishes don't like relay him actually like actual position. He's been finishing in like the top 30s, you know, top 25, but he's been running up front all year. So I don't, you know, he's going to win eventually. It's probably going to be at like a super speedway, like most fire drivers win at. But who knows? You know, I've been surprised before.
Yeah, I just mean that if he's underperforming at Trackhouse, I have a bad feeling his performance could be worse, knowing that Spire's a step down.
I don't know if Spire's a step down. I think they had equal equipment, in my opinion. Like at road courses, SVG is just insane. I think he could win in a freaking BJ McLeod Motorsports car.
You're probably right.
But you know, that being said, it's scary to see like SVG start to get good at ovals.
Oh so, yeah, he just scored another top 15 in Martinsville again.
Obviously, Spire, you know, they know what they're doing. They know how to develop drivers. They have good coaches. And obviously, like, you know, he has Chevy to back him up. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens with Daniel. I think he'll be fine, but who knows?
All right. So that's our thoughts about that. All right, so big news coming out of Xfinity. I mean, if you saw the Xfinity race last weekend, unfortunately I wasn't due because I was preparing for another league race. It's that time of year since the off season's coming. I'm gonna be doing tons of league racing. But I saw Sam Mayer got into an incident with Jeb Burton. It seems like always at Martinsville, Sam Mayer is always having an issue with another driver. And this time, he admitted actually in an interview that he took out Jeb Burton on purpose for Jeb Burton supposedly bumping him earlier in the race. And NASCAR rewarded him one race suspension. I mean, if you do stupid things, you get stupid prizes. So,
yeah, that was pretty bad. I haven't seen something like that happen in a long time, especially like after the race is over. That was the most iRacing activity thing I've ever seen in my life. I've done it a million times at Martinsville and iRacing, but like,
yeah, iRacing's not real life though.
It was still bad, and I don't like. I remember watching. I didn't watch the Xfinity race. I was what was I doing on Saturday night? I was playing basketball. I was, you know, getting exercise. And so I got back home. I was like, oh, you know, that's cool. I forgot who won the race. That's how forgettable it was.
Taylor Bray. I remember because I had it side by side with my league race.
Yeah, so like I was like, oh, Taylor Bray won. You know, good for him. He finally got that win. It's been bugging him all year. And I was like, wait, what happened with Sam Mayer and Jeb Burton? And the first thing I saw was Sam Mayer's interview, and I was like, oh my gosh, this PR rep is going to kill him. I've never seen such a smug look on his face, and I wasn't even like I didn't even know what he was talking about. I was like, "What do you refer Talladega? Like what?" And I was just like, yeah, this kid, man. No wonder he left junior. Like that's I think he deserves more than just a one race suspension, but like
It's
you
the
just
end of the
don't do
season,
that.
so
I mean, yeah, I have no words. That was dumb. He's gonna grow from it. But what made it like insult to injury was when he posted on Twitter, he wasn't scared. Like he had no remorse for what he did. He never apologized, like nothing.
yeah, to me that
And
deserves a suspension.
like I, I don't like people like that. Okay, I don't like people who carry themselves that way. If you did a bad thing, like you know, admit it. Like
I,
it's dangerous for one. And you're racing real race cars,
yeah.
and who knows how bad that hit could have been. But you know,
I mean, in a way, it kind of
still,
reminds me of like Austin Hill a couple months back when he wrecked Eric Almirola, and then he had that type of outburst, kind of like what Sam Mayer did. I mean, not sure if you can put those two in the same category, but I mean,
you
I mean
can't.
that's why some of these drivers cannot move up, and that's why Cup teams don't want them because they see this immaturity and they don't want that on the track to cause them trouble.
Yeah, it's unfortunate where we are as a society when it comes to that. Um, but yeah, I mean, the Austin Hill situation is different.
Mm-hmm.
When I watch the replay over and over again, like I understand their argument, but you got to understand how bad it looks.
Especially with the white
So,
gloves.
yeah, never wear white gloves. But yeah, it's just dumb. Don't do it again.
Yeah, agreed. Definitely. I mean, I definitely think it's a fair penalty. I mean, well, it's the end of the season, so you pretty much only could suspend them one race. But I just think some of these drivers just need to mature more, and maybe they'll keep themselves from getting in trouble from those situations. I mean, I don't mind drama, but not where like their safeties are like at risk. But
Yeah, I agree.
all right. So that's all for that. I think that's all like the off-season news. Is there any other not off-season news? Is there any off-track news you'd like to discuss that's happened?
Let me think. No, we'll get to the playoff stuff later.
Oh, I
Um,
would like to say an honorable mention. NASCAR forgot to give me Double D their invite for the Creator Series for NASCAR 25. And literally, when I saw them uploaded like the post, I was like, "Who the heck are these people?" Like, I haven't known one single person out of that group. I mean, I thought they were gonna have somebody like Ice Show Speed, Kai Sinet, or somebody crazy like that, but nah.
they had pretty good streamers in there. I watched half those people before. Like when I played Fortnite back in the day, half those people used to be Fortnite streamers.
Yeah.
Uh, one of them was, if I'm looking up, like, NASCAR 25. They posted it, right?
They probably did. I think
Uh,
my point is they just aren't as big of names to get like to bigger audiences.
like I know 4 out of the 8 pictures they put on like the promo.
Yeah. That's
I
my
know four
problem.
of the eight.
You don't know everybody.
Yeah, it's whatever. It was a good idea. I heard that it was kind of a flop because the servers weren't working right, so I thought that was funny.
Yeah.
Um, Classic NASCAR, but
Yeah. Like I do like the idea. I just don't like how there's so much unknown people.
yeah, I agree. Maybe if they do it again later, it'll be more refined. But they probably sent out invites to major creators, and those are just the only people who accepted the invite.
Yeah.
So
The reason why I was
yes.
surprised Speed wasn't in it, because like a few weeks ago, he actually tested at Daytona with Carson Hocevar in the NASCAR experience thing.
Yeah, and that was pretty cool. But also, Speed's schedule, I'm sure, is
Yeah,
insane.
especially.
And he's not really a gamer kind of guy. So
True.
I don't know.
Good point. Yeah, so I just wanted to mention that. Well, NASCAR, if you want to send an invite, I'm right here. Ain't nothing stopping you. But anyways, all right. So we're gonna talk about Martinsville, NASCAR Cup Series over there. William Byron got pole. Of course, it seemed like the top 8 were pretty much consistently staying in the top 10 throughout the race. But just William Byron, he just looked dominant the entire day. And what I found really interesting was they kept saying the day before and after practice Chase Elliott was going to be the favorite. But what I think happened going into Sunday, I think the condition of the track was completely different. And I think the tires wore differently than what it did in practice for Chase Elliott. So that's why his car didn't handle as good. And the only two cars, in my opinion, that were the best was William Byron and Ryan Blaney. Ryan Preece was starting to get there at the end. I bet if it was a longer run, he probably could have been in conversation for the win. But of course, cautions fell in the wrong time, and it was only came down to Byron and Blaney. But what were your thoughts about the race? I thought it was decent compared to what the other Martinsville races we've been getting, but I thought it was okay racing. What do you thought? What is your thoughts?
I thought it was good. Even with the weather, like we know with NASCAR that weather affects the tire more than anything. I don't think it was the same tire we had at Bristol. I think it was similar. Obviously, Martinsville's a different track, but it wasn't bad. Like compared to the Martinsville race I went to earlier this year, like the tires didn't wear as bad, but they were still wearing, and that's a good step in the right direction. It was just because it was colder. It made it interesting. But like on a scale of 1 to 10, it was a solid 6 or 7.
Yeah.
6,
7.
I couldn't help myself, but like that legitimately is probably about a 7 for me. It was enjoyable to watch. It was entertaining. Obviously, like I hate the playoffs, but it still made it an entertaining race at the cutoff. Just because everyone was kind of so close together around the cutoff line, depending who was leading. And I thought Ryan Blaney probably had the best car. It definitely came in the longer run if he was managing tires right. And that was...
I forgot to note, Ryan Blaney came from last pretty much to the front.
Yeah, like 35th, I think they said.
Yeah.
I think he had the better car. He just didn't lead because he was stuck in the back. Once he got up front, he was in contention. But I also just think William Byron's just that good, carrying the 24's, number right at Martinsville by kind of dominating that race. And their adjustment they made after the yellow with it was 15 to go, 20 to go, whatever it was. Just kind of made, because I think he struggled short run. I think that was his biggest Achilles heel, and they fixed it with one adjustment. And then I don't think Ryan Blaney even had a shot after that. So it's good to see
Byron's team.
It's good to see an older style NASCAR feel to that. There's really 1 or 2, maybe 3 really, really dominant cars, and then those guys were just duking it out the end. It kind of had that authentic early 2000s NASCAR feel to it. Yeah, the cars looked really cool with all the brake dust and rubber on it. It's my favorite part of Martinsville. It was solid. I can't wait till they go to 750 horsepower next year. We'll see how that goes at Martinsville, but hoping it's more slipping and sliding.
Yeah, I hope so. But my brief thoughts about the 750 horsepower, I've kind of had the same opinion as what Larson's saying. I have a feeling with how the next gen car is made. I doubt if it'll make that much difference. It will make a difference, but the question is, how much difference will it make?
I think at short tracks, flat short tracks. So I'm talking New Hampshire, Martinsville,
Phoenix, Gateway.
Phoenix. No, Gateway has a lot of banking on it.
That's true.
3 and 4 doesn't. So Gateway 3 and 4. I'm thinking in my head Bowman Gray. Bowman Gray's gonna be insane with that new package. I think a lot more power in the rear tires. Tracks like that. It's Richmond. Those kind of tracks where handling is everything are going to be really good races. But I don't see it being a difference Bristol or at road courses. Stuff like that, I don't see a big difference, but only time will tell. And maybe iRacing will come to their senses, and not iRacing, crap, NASCAR. Golly, I'm tired. NASCAR will come to their senses and be okay, 900. We'll try 900 for the All-Star race or something.
Yeah. Kind of like they did in 2018 before they went to the worst package, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Like, I think they should use the All Star race for more than just like the $1 million prize, which, let's be honest, is like nothing in this economy. Um, so who knows? I think NASCAR needs to be ran different. That's why I'm a big fan of the lawsuit.
Yeah, yeah,
And, and NASCAR got so exposed yesterday, so I'm happy. Or today. Today.
yeah. It's been hard for me to cover the 2311 situation because it's just a lot of lawyer work and everything. But yeah, what was I gonna say? But yeah, just as long as NASCAR doesn't use the EV cars as an experiment for the All Star races, I'll be okay.
I agree. I agree.
All right, so that's our thoughts about that. Of course, yeah, we're talking about like the ones that advance. So of course, Denny Hamlin won at Las Vegas. Chase Briscoe won at Talladega, and then of course William Byron won. Larson, I think, finished +7 above Christopher Bell, but it looked like at points, it looked like I don't know. Bell is off compared to the past couple of years he's ran there. I thought he was going to have a strong car, and he just was non-existent. And William Byron also, I was surprised he was able to handle the speed because knowing like Hendrick's history during the fall races, the past couple of years have not been as good as like the other teams like Penske and Joe Gibbs. But Byron was able to flip the script, and Bell just did not look that good. I just wonder why.
I think he was another person that fall to the victim of the weather change over 24 hours. I think he had a solid car setup during practice and qualifying. It's just, like Bubba Wallace was another good example of that.
Yeah,
His car was flying longer than in practice, and then came to the race. I think the temperature dropped like almost 10 degrees, and for tires and setups, it's a big drop. And they also raced, a little bit earlier. And it was an interesting dynamic with the weather and where like how practice and qualifying laid out. So um, I think Bell probably had the car if it was 65 degrees and sunny, but
yeah,
it wasn't that. And it's just kind of how the cookie crumbles. It's part of what makes racing so dynamic and great and fun.
yeah.
And so yeah, it's unfortunate, and I'm sure they tried to make the right adjustments. They just, they were in the top five, or right? They finished like top 10, top five.
Yeah, they finished
So
in seventh place. What I written down.
yeah, they were in contention at the end for the most part, but their car wasn't as good. So um, kind of sucks for them, but at least there's two Joe Gibbs Racing cars in the four, so can't feel too bad.
Yeah, another thing I'd like to mention about during the race too that I forgot to mention about what your thoughts on Martinsville. There were some questionable cautions by NASCAR. There was one like where, as you mentioned before the podcast came on, where Cody Ware was on the track and then they waited half a lap to throw the caution. And then I think there was one with like Daniel Suarez where he already had the car controlled and they still threw the caution.
Yeah, there was another one with like Eric Jones. Like they waited forever, and then he just started to get going, and then that's when they threw the yellow. I was just like, but y'all waited all that time, and you know, he got going. Why wait to throw the yellow if he got going?
Yeah. I mean, that was really frustrating. I mean, not just because I was a Chase Elliott fan, but I mean, it just really screwed a lot of other drivers' races that Eric Jones caution.
Yeah, there's a really good Elliott Productions video. Is NASCAR officiating sucks and still very real to this day.
Hopefully, we've all seen that. They're pretty good.
I like I think his name's Connor. I like Connor.
Yeah, it's pretty hilarious. Well, yeah, so we were talking about that. Let's see, what else we got to talk about? I think we pretty much already talked about everything about Martinsville that went on. So I guess it's on to our predictions for coming up this weekend. So, of course, the Truck Series. I haven't really been able to cover the Truck Series as much, but I will say it looks like Corey Heim is unbeatable, but stranger things have happened. He's got I think he won at Martinsville again. I think he's got 11 wins now. He's matched his driver number. 11 wins. I could see possibly Ty Majeski maybe battling him because I've seen historically Ty Majeski's been good at short tracks. but we'll have to see. But I think Corey Haim's going to win. But as I said, stranger things are going to happen. What do you think? Who you think's going to win the truck championship?
I better hope to God. All right, so I'm split for two reasons. To further expose the playoff system, I would want like Tyler Ankrum to win, just to expose it. Like remember, like I think it was like 2 or 3 years ago, maybe a little bit further than that. Like Matt Crafton won the championship with 0 wins.
Yeah, he
right?
did. It was. I think it was like 2019, I believe. It was before
Yeah, I think in
COVID.
2018, 2019. So I would find it hilarious if Tyler Ankrum won, or even better, Kanan Honeycutt.
Yeah, because
like,
he went to a different ride in the middle of the season.
Yeah, like with the driver points, it doesn't matter what car you're driving, you're still with the points. But again, 0 wins. Like literally the only other driver that has wins other than Corey Haim is Tyler Ankrum, and he has 1. So I'm cheering for both Ty and Caden, but I don't want them to win the race. Like I want them to finish like 2nd or 3rd, and then like, oh crap, like they won the championship with no wins. That's bull crap, that kind of stuff. But out of like most dominant seasons, most deserving championship winner, I think Corey Haim should win.
He should have a cup ride next year, but you don't know about this lawsuit.
Yeah, with the lawsuit makes it hard, and so he could go to Xfinity. Who knows? But he deserves a cup ride for sure. But the Truck Series has been notorious for chaos at Phoenix in the championship race.
Oh, a couple of years.
It's happened for the last like 3 years. Like, I hope it's crazy. I work Friday night, so I think the race starts. What time does the race start on Friday?
I think it starts 7:30 my time. Well, it starts 7:30 Eastern.
Bob Pockris is going to save me. I think it is 7:30. I think you're right. Yeah. Which is good. If it's 7:30, I get off at 7:30. And if it's Central Time, even better. I get to go home, eat dinner, and then watch the chaos.
Yeah.
Yeah, 7:50 is green flag time. So yeah, I'm gonna be able to watch it. So I'm excited to watch the chaos, and I just hope like somebody with 0 wins like Daniel Hemrick did.
Yeah. Mention about my experience about that truck race a couple of years ago. That was so bad. I won't forget. I'm in Central Time too. The race wanted to end until like midnight where I was at, and probably 1 Eastern for like the East Coast. I mean, it was just insane, like how many cautions they kept getting.
To be fair, the Truck Series has been really good this year in terms of like chaos and calamity. It hasn't been as bad as your
I have noticed.
So it could be like just Corey Haim dominance, or there could be like a fake debris caution with 5 to go just to shake things up. Like you know what I mean? Yeah. Or like one of the
the petty cautions.
One of the Thor Sports trucks has an itchy elbow and they spin out. Oh no, there's a caution. Like stuff like gate. That. I feel like that could happen, but I mean, at least the purse is actually more than they usually get. Yeah. $1.1 million compared to previous races where it's way less than that. So good job on the trucks for getting a pay raise, I guess.
Yeah. All right. So thanks to probably people like Frankie Muniz for bringing some a little bit of attention, but
I guess so. Yeah.
And Tony Breidinger for Raising Canes and Celsius Steels. Industry plant.
Anyways.
Yeah, but anyways. So now we're on to like the Xfinity. I think there's like a similar situation here. You had Connor Zilisch that's won so many races. I feel like this is his championship to lose. But then you have defending champion Justin Allgaier. Carson Quaffle just made it in on points. And then Jesse Love has been really quiet, but he's done enough to get into the championship 4. So
who's your pick?
I feel like I'm going to pick Silage on this one. But like I said, stranger things have happened.
I will put my life savings on Justin Allgaier winning the championship. For this reason alone. It's one of his best racetracks.
Okay.
Statistically. And I can see him winning again. Do I want Connor Zilisch to win? Yes, of course, but I just don't think it's going to happen. Like his luck the last couple weeks, like, yeah, he's still finishing top 5, top 10, like that top 10 streak's still going. But like, I just don't I don't see him winning the championship. I don't know why. I think Carson's going to have a good run. I think Jesse Love will be in contention. But Junior Motorsports has been so dominant this year that I just don't see,
I
you know,
agree. And
I
only
don't see Jesse
RCR
Love
showed up at the
winning.
plate tracks.
Yeah, and I just don't know. Like, it's going to be a Junior Motorsports driver. I think Carson's going to run top 10. I don't think he's going to win. Um, so it's a 50-50 like coin flip between Connor and Justin. But like I said, I think Justin's going to win, and I think it's going to be obvious that like it's going to be a dominant win by Justin. So we'll see.
Yeah. All right. Now this is the good part. The NASCAR Cup Series predictions. Now I forgot to note this. Talk about our thoughts on Martinsville. But well, first I'm gonna go off about like my prediction, and this is why I'm wearing the shirt. I think Kyle Larson's gonna win. Here's why I think Kyle Larson. Not just I predicted it in February, right before the season started, but quietly I've noticed Larson's starting to get his momentum back. Of course, during the summer, there was a while like where he wouldn't finish that good, but once the playoffs came back, sure he has not won a race, but he has done enough each round to make sure he got himself to the championship 4. And Phoenix, he's pretty decent there. And I have a feeling, and he's got championship experience. I mean, he's won a championship in 2021. And I have a feeling that he can compete with like Hamlin and Chase Briscoe to be able to win the race and the championship potentially. But and here's why I don't think Hamlin or Briscoe are going to win. Remember last week at Martinsville, they both had engine problems. There could be a chance that they may have a reliability issue here. Remember a couple years ago, Christopher Bell, he looked like he was going to be good for the championship in 2023, then he blew his tire. So.
I do have some insider information about the engine issues.
Right.
There's a guy I know that I race iRacing with. That's I think his dad works for Joe Gibbs Racing in their engine department. And he said that like his dad said that it was a valve spring issue, and it was like it's a very small component, but if it fails, it breaks the whole engine. So I feel like if they get like a brand new valve spring for both, because they use those more than once,
Yeah.
And then he said that they're rated based off of like which track they're going to, and how many laps and how many miles they're going to run. So if they just get brand new valve springs, that they'll be fine. I don't think they're going to have the reliability issues everyone thinks that they're going to have. But wait and see. I mean, who knows? Maybe Hendrick has a similar issue, So
yeah.
it's the beauty of motorsports.
I mentioned Joe Gibbs because it's happened to like the team a few times this year.
It's valid. It's a valid point. It's happened more than once. So.
And the reason why I'm leaving out like William Byron here, the past couple times William Byron's been in the championship 4, he has not performed to Phoenix. I don't see him performing here again. Unless they get some type of change going on with their Phoenix setup and maybe enough sim time and enough time to figure out the track, I just don't really see him being a contender during the day. But I feel like it's going to come down to Hamlin and Larson. Hamlin. I know every year he says it's his year, but this year I feel like he's more hungrier than ever, and he knows in his career time is running out. So I have a feeling that Hamlin's going to be tough to beat. And also had 2 weeks to prepare on the car after he won at Vegas.
Yeah, and Phoenix is another pretty decent track for him. I think you have a valid point about William Byron and Phoenix. They don't really mesh well. It's not his best racetrack. I don't think he's going to be a contender. He's fast. Don't get me wrong. He's won races this year, but I just don't see him winning. I think Chase Briscoe is going to be running top 5.
I mean, he won in 22 in Stewart Haas equipment.
Yeah, it's one of his better tracks. I wouldn't mind seeing Chase Briscoe win the championship. Personally, I'm cheering for Denny. I think he's the most deserving champion. This year in the Cup Series has been pretty even. Like, I think Denny's still tied for the most wins. I gotta look because I don't remember these things.
I will say the odds are we got a 75% chance of getting a new champion because Larson was the only one to win a championship before.
Yeah. Um, yeah. I mean, Denny has 6, and everyone else that's in the 4 has 3. Um, so like, I think Denny, if he plays his cards right, he'll win. Um, but with knowing Denny Hamlin's luck, he probably won't. And so we'll see. I mean, I think it's anybody's race. I just don't think the Hendrick has the speed and momentum that Toyota has, and because they're just that good, you know. So I see a Toyota winning, but my gut says Denny, but it's Denny Hamlin, so like he doesn't have that kind of luck.
Yeah. I mean, imagine, I have a feeling that Hamlin has the big chance to become, if he can win the championship, one of the most respected drivers of the sport. And if he loses this, I feel like he'll be more hated than he was before.
Yeah, I also don't agree with people saying like his time is running up. I don't believe that.
I mean, yeah, JGR
NASCAR
did
is one
sign
of
a
those.
multi-year deal with Hamlin recently.
Yeah, and also like racing is one of those sports that you can do until you're 80. I mean, freaking Norm Benning's still going at it. Like, you know, and I bet you put Norm Benning in a Thor Sport truck at a plate track and he runs top 10. Like,
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah, then he had Kevin
once you have
Harvick
it, you
kept
don't
running
really
until he
lose
was like
it.
47.
Exactly. So I don't think Denny is washed. And these kind of like short track, it's gonna be it's gonna be cool in Phoenix. It won't be like hot. It won't be like
Yeah.
cold. It'll play into his hands, but
But
it's racing. Anything can happen.
But a point I like to bring up, I think people mainly talk about that stuff. For example, remember what happened to Jimmy Johnson a few years ago? Like after that wreck of Pocono, he just wasn't the same driver after that. And you don't know when like your prime, like out of your prime, will strike. I mean, look at Kyle Busch, really struggling in RCR equipment. Not just the equipment, but he's just not that good either for the past couple of years.
I agree. I think it's an RCR equipment thing, and I also think it's a personality thing with him. I don't think he is fully focused, but also, you know, maybe it's time for him to take a step back. You know, people get the yips. It's a thing. It's happened to me when I played basketball, and I just have to take a step back, take a deep breath, and you know,
Yeah.
try again later.
I mean, unless he could do what his brother did, Kurt Busch, where it looked like his career was over, and then all of a sudden he had a second resurgence until he had that concussion that ended his career.
Exactly. My point. Exactly.
But yeah, so I think that's pretty much all our like predictions. What we think is going to happen at Phoenix. I'm glad we got 4 deserving champions potentially in like the championship 4. No Penske, thank God.
Me and the homie say Penske.
Yeah, but I'm just happy. I'm just happy for this championship 4. I think it's gonna be really exciting. These are really 4 drivers that have really worked, like put effort into the season. They're trying to win this championship, and we're gonna see it all play out. Of course, it got Larson. Who do you have? You're rooting for Hamlin, but who do you think exactly is gonna win? Because I know who you're rooting for, but who do you think?
I personally, I don't see a non-playoff driver not winning. So if I had to pick, I think it's going to be a close battle between Chase Briscoe and Denny.
Okay, both go
So,
against cars.
Yeah,
That's if the reliability issues don't strike.
I doubt they will, but it was.
Yeah. All right. Well, that was great for having you on for this championship edition episode. Of course, guys, I thank you guys for watching here at home. Make sure you tune in. Not just the championship race this weekend, but there's my league race this weekend. The 3rd preseason race at Michigan International Speedway. Halloween night starts at 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern. Last preseason race before the big Daytona 500 next weekend. So we have more prepare for that. Then, of course, the championship races. NASCAR, don't forget to watch my watch party as well. Comes on the same time as the Cup race at 2 p.m. Central, 3 p.m. Eastern. Oh, man. This year has gone by really fast. I just can't believe we're already here already. But here we are. Of course, guys, please like and subscribe. It's been helping out the channel an awful lot. Finally been able to reach over 100 subscribers recently. So keep trying to get the channel growing, get the word out to everybody to subscribe to this channel. I promise they won't want to miss this content they're getting from here. It's pretty exciting. But yeah, of course, thank you, Bennett. Thank you for joining. Thank you for coming up on the podcast as well. I'm glad to get your insider info from like other drivers, other like fans, or like people you know that are related to the sport. Glad to have you on. Yeah.
Thanks, man. I love doing these podcasts with you. I think it's a lot of fun, and it's good to get my thoughts out on the internet. And hopefully, we have a good weekend of racing. And it sucks that the season's already over, but that lets me focus on football and basketball for the next couple months, and hopefully it ends with a bang.
Yeah, Lions and Packers. That'd be an interesting podcast episode later, upcoming soon.
I hate the Packers. Don't talk about the Packers around me.
Oh boy. All right. Thank you guys for watching. Of course, see you guys next time.